Howdy, I'm Quick Cal. Welcome to our 9-part weekly series following the Cowboy Fast Draw Association's Top Gun Tour. Please follow me across America as we visit Cowboy Fast Draw Association's title championships from coast to coast. You can follow top guns from around the country as they earn points in their quest to win the coveted title of CFDA Top Gun of the Year. It all culminates each year at our Fastest Gun Alive World Championship of Cowboy Fast Draw held in Fallon, Nevada. Even though the sport of fast draw has been around since the 1950s, the sport is more than just fast draw. It's about drawing and firing an 1800 single action revolver, also known as a 6-gun, as fast and accurate as possible to hip shoot a 17-inch plate at 15 feet with special wax bullet ammunition. Cowboy Fast Draw is a family-friendly sport where gun safety always comes first and where we also honor the romance and legend of the American Old West. So if you're looking for the thrill of an Old West style gunfight where competitors must pit their skills against all comers, you've come to the right place. To learn more about Cowboy Fast Draw, please visit our website at cowboyfastdraw.com. Now sit back and enjoy the show. Howdy, this is Quick Cal. I'm all the way near Canton, Georgia for our 2024 Georgia State Championship. There are shooters from all over the eastern United States, all the way down from Kentucky, Florida, Virginia, all points in between, all the way over into all through the Midwest like Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, and far down as Texas have all come here to converge for this weekend to settle the Georgia State Championship. I sat down with Pale Rider, the president of our host club. He explains how the club founder, Stainless Steel, got him started.
I introduced myself and he handed me a card. Oh. And it was a Cowboy Fast Draw card. And I said, "What's this guy with a gun doing on your card?" And he said, "Well, come by my house and I will show you." Wow. And so I did. I went by his house and he strapped a gun on me and we started shooting. And I think one of my first or second shots was like a high five.
Yeah.
And he said, "That doesn't happen very often." Immediately smitten by the sport. My wife joined, and it took her a little while to be brave enough to strap on a gun and try it. But she's competitive. We're both in our early 70s, and so it's amazing that we can still compete at this age.
Well, you know, this is a game you can play as long as you're able. A CFDA title championship is a hard thing to win, isn't it?
It's very hard, and maybe one of the hardest things ever. I mean, I was a very successful high school basketball coach.
Okay.
And I played, my teams got into the state championship 5 times. Only won 1.
Yeah.
And championships in any sport are just hard to win.
They are.
And so I liken my career as a coach a lot to this because you have to practice and you have to be prepared and you have to be mentally tough.
Oh, yeah.
The mental game is huge.
It's 95% of our game. When you get to the level where you can win a championship, it is then 95% mental.
Wow.
It really is. And
I think you told me one time, you know what size the target is that you're shooting on.
Yeah, it's 6 inches.
6 inches.
6 inches, approximately that space between your ears is what it is.
And that is true.
It's absolutely true. This is such a game, and hey, sometimes you get up there, as you shoot your best shot, as you go out hitting the target, you know, I can handle that loss.
I can too.
You know, that I can handle that loss because you put out your best, you did your best, and you got beat.
Right.
And you know what's left to do when you shake the hand of the man that won.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I, you know, in our club, I try to teach all our shooters, look, be a humble winner, but be a gracious loser.
Yes.
And because this is really about friendships and relationships.
To learn more about Cowboy Fast Draw, go to our website, cowboyfastdraw.com. With our motto of safety first, fun second, and competition third, you can learn about our safety, our guns, and the special wax bullet ammunition we use. After the break, we'll explain how our main match works. Bouts between two opponents are usually a 3 out of 5 format. In other words, the first shooter to win 3 shots wins the bout. The shooter losing the bout receives an X for that round. Most of the large competitions are 4X matches. Therefore, when you receive your 4th X, you are eliminated from the match. Now let's explain how Top Gun of the Year points work. Many of our top shooters travel the country on what we call our Top Gun Tour to earn points at all the championships they compete in. Points vary depending on the level of CFDA title at stake. State champions earn 40 points, territorial champions earn 50 points, nationals earn just 60 points, and world champions earn 70 points. Second place finishes are 3 points lower. Third are 2 points less. Fourth is also 2 points less. And then from 5th place down, 1 point less per place. Men's and ladies divisions are kept separate. Hey folks, this week we have a new feature. A Top Gun of the Year points update. These point totals are from our first 3 sanctioned tournaments, the Florida, Texas, and Oklahoma State Championships. So far, Tin Bender from Idaho, who was last year's Top Gun of the Year, is leading the race, with KK Kid from Texas jumping out to a commanding lead. Plus Dago, who took second at Texas State, and 16-year-old Shellshock, who not only took second at Texas, but won the Oklahoma State, are holding on to the second place men and ladies points. Coming up after the break is our Ladies Magnificent 7 Finals. Our championship always comes down between the last gunfighter left standing in the winner's bracket, who must only win 1 bout to win the championship, whereas the shooter from the 1X bracket must win the first round to force a final showdown round for the overall championship title. It's now Sunday afternoon at the Georgia State Championship and time for our Magnificent 7 shoot-offs. Here's our top seed lineup for our Ladies Mag 7 final. Qualifying for the final 7th seed is Blue Hawk from Palm Coast, Florida. She has an amazing story. Formerly in law enforcement, she fell legally blind a number of years ago. She discovered Cowboy Fast Draw in 2015 through a friend and developed a love for the sport and the people in it. She and her guide dog, Kissable Katie, became part of and loved by the CFDA family. She couldn't see the target light illuminate and had to depend on an assistant to tell her when the start light came on. It was because of her that the blind assist toner was developed for the Gunslinger timing system that she began using in 2016, which enabled her to begin recording times well under a second. In 2017, she had an amazing accomplishment and won the Ladies Florida State Championship and earned an entry fee into the Fastest Gun Alive World Championship. Even though she had not traveled out of Florida for years, her fellow Florida shooters assisted her in making the trip to Nevada. Our 6th seed is Cherokee Sparrow from Oneonta, Alabama. She has only been shooting Cowboy Fast Draw for 2 years and is a member of the host club, the Hickory Flats Shooters Society. Blue-Eyed Belle is our 5th seed. She's been shooting for 9 years and is a member of the cross-branded Peacemakers from Pineville, Louisiana. Our 4th seed, Crystal J, is from Bentley, Louisiana. She and her husband joined the Great Basin Gunhawks in Nevada about 5 years ago, then recently moved to Louisiana and now shoots with the cross-branded Peacemakers. S-Lady is our 3rd seed. She and her husband S-Man are from Palm Coast, Florida, and have become very consistent shooters. Our 2nd seed is Slowpoke. She and her husband B.A. have become full-time RVers and have spent their last few years traveling the CFDA circuit from coast to coast. She began competing in 2011. Slowpoke has won 17 major CFDA titles, which include 9 state and 6 territorial championships, plus the 2017 and 2022 national championships that were both held in Deadwood, South Dakota. And our number 1 seed, Cutie Kate, started Cowboy Fast Draw 5 years ago with the Deputies CFDA Club in California. She recently moved to Deatsville, Alabama. Although she has yet to win a CFDA title championship, she has come very close in the past. If there is a lady here today that can give Slowpoke a run for her money, it is Cutie Kate. We begin our Ladies Magnificent 7 finals with Blue Hawk on lane 3 and Cherokee Sparrow on lane 4. Blue Hawk and Cherokee Sparrow are soon in a 2-2 tie, with Cherokee Sparrow winning the deciding shot with a 7.85, just over 3/4 of a second. Next, Blue-Eyed Belle comes to the firing line, but Cherokee Sparrow is on target, hitting 3 winning shots in a row, scoring a 7.10 on her last shot. And now Crystal J comes to the line to challenge Cherokee Sparrow. They too shoot to a 2-2 tie, with Cherokee Sparrow continuing her streak with a 6.80. Meanwhile, over in the 1X bracket, Blue Hawk defeats Blue-Eyed Belle with 3 winning shots in a row. Her last shot is exactly 1 second. Blue-Eyed Belle ends up in 7th place overall in the ladies division. Just for the information of our viewers, for a shot to count according to CFDA rules, it must be a 125 or faster. S-Lady, our 3rd seed, now comes to the line to take on Cherokee Sparrow in the winner's bracket. Since she's the higher seeded shooter, she picks lane 4. Can she break Cherokee Sparrow's winning streak? It's not happening, as Cherokee Sparrow hits 3 shots out of 4, all in the 6s to keep her run going. While over in the 1X bracket, on lanes 3 and 4, Crystal J and Blue Hawk are tied in a 2-2 matchup, with Crystal J scoring the winning shot. Blue Hawk finishes in 6th place. It's time for former national champion Slowpoke to claim lane 3 in her quest to add another title to her legacy. She begins by hitting 2 shots under half of a second, but then goes on a short missing streak. Folks, this happens in Cowboy Fast Draw due to the degree of difficulty of hitting a 17-inch target at 15 feet while hip shooting under the pressure of competition. Cherokee Sparrow may not have Slowpoke speed, but she's been on an amazing hit streak and ties the match 2-2. But Slowpoke finds a pace, hitting the last shot at a 5.62, ending Cherokee Sparrow's dominance over the winner's bracket. Over in the 1X bracket, both S-Lady and Crystal J are hitting well, but S-Lady edges out a win, with Crystal J finishing in 5th place. Now it's time for our number 1 seed, Cutie Kate, to come to the line to take on Slowpoke. She has the speed to do it. They are both shooting about a 1/2 of a second pace, which brings them to another 2-2 tie. The start lights come on. They both hit the target under the half-second mark, with Slowpoke barely pulling out the win with a 4.62, edging out Cutie Kate's 4.83. Slowpoke comes from the 2nd seed, earning what we call in Cowboy Fast Draw the catbird seat. She is guaranteed a spot in the final. Meanwhile, S-Lady and Cherokee Sparrow over in the 1X bracket, seeing who can stay in the game. S-Lady wins the bout with a 7.83, with Cherokee Sparrow moving up from her 6th seed all the way to take 4th place. The semifinal round is here, between Cutie Kate on lane 3 and S-Lady on lane 4. S-Lady is on target immediately and takes a 2-0 lead. But Cutie Kate finds the target and fires 3 winning shots in a row in the low 5s, sending S-Lady to a great 3rd place finish and earning her way back into the hunt for her first CFDA title. So here we are in the Ladies Championship Final. Since Slowpoke has not been given an X in the shoot-offs, all she must do is put an X on Cutie Kate to win the championship, whereas Cutie Kate must win this round to force them to switch lanes for a final championship round. Slowpoke is on target and jumps to a 2-0 lead, but misses her next 2 shots, while Cutie Kate ties the match with 2 hits just over a half of a second. On the final shot, Slowpoke wins with a 4.89 and adds another notch to her 6 gun. Congratulations to both Cutie Kate and Slowpoke for a great championship round. Coming up after the break is our Men's Magnificent 7 Finals. All right, now here's our Men's Magnificent 7 finalists. Our 7th seed is a local favorite, Six Killer. He is a member of our host club, the Hickory Flats Shooting Society, and has been shooting Cowboy Fast Draw for about 4 years. He has earned a reputation of being one of the fastest guns in CFDA. He's won the Virginia State Championship in 2022 and put on an amazing show with his long gun at the 2023 World Championship Shooters Finals. Alabama is our 6th seed. He hails from Aniante, Alabama, and has been competing in cowboy fast draw for about 6 years. He shoots in the half-second range. He heads up the Alabama Gang Cowboy Fast Draw Club. Earning the 5th seed is J.D. Derringer from Palm Coast, Florida. He's only been shooting for 6 months and already shoots in the low 4s. This is his first Magnificent 7 Finals. Our 4th seed is the Smoke Wagon Kid. He's been competing for about 3 years after being introduced to our sport by his parents. He's from Ormond Beach, Florida. Earning our 3rd seed is Johnny James from Hartford, Kentucky. We met him last week at the finals for the Oklahoma State Championship. He's really been working on his game, shooting in the mid to low 4s. He is a member of the Bluegrass Fast Draw Club. The number 2 seed is Green River from McKendree, Kentucky. He is also a member of the Bluegrass Fast Draw Club and has been shooting for about 9 years. He is the most seasoned champion in our finals. Green River has racked up 8 CFDA championship titles, which includes 3 Virginia State Championships, along with Kentucky, Michigan, Arkansas State, and the Southern Territorial Championships. He is also the defending Georgia State champion. Our top seed is Saltwater Cowboy from Hudson, Florida. He's been competing about 3 years. He's come on the scene in the last year, shooting very impressive times, and was the runner-up earlier this year at the Florida State Championships, winning the resident champion buckle. He's really beginning to make a mark on the CFDA Top Gun Tour. We bring our 6th and 7th seeds to the line, and Alabama chooses lane 3, putting 6 Killer on 4. 6 Killer starts out with 2 fast shots in the mid-3s, with Alabama scoring a 5.09 to make it a 2-1 bout. But 6 Killer wins the round with another fast 364. J.D. Derringer comes to the line to take on 6 Killer. 6 Killer continues where he left off, jumping to a 2-0 lead, with J.D. Derringer making it a 2-1 match with a 426. 6 Killer then wins the round with a winning hit of a 395. J.D. Derringer will be Alabama's opponent in the 1X bracket. Next, our 4th seed. The Smoke Wagon Kid comes and claims lane 3, moving 6 Killer over to lane 4. 6 Killer seems to be setting a pattern, winning the first 2 shots again. But this time, he closes the match 3-0 with a final shot of a 364. Meanwhile, in our first 1X bracket matchup, Alabama wins 3-0 with a final shot of a 581, which places J.D. Derringer in 7th place. You know, that's a great finish for a fellow who's only been shooting for 6 months. Now our 3rd seed, Johnny James, comes up to challenge the winner's bracket and picks lane 4, but now 6 Killer, now on lane 3, who's had a solid run, has trouble finding the target, and Johnny James shoots to a 2-0 lead, but then goes cold on the target himself. 6 Killer begins to find the target with a 374, then wins the next 2 shots with a 378 and a 389 to keep his run to the top going. Over on lanes 5 and 6 in the 1X bracket, Alabama and Smoke Wagon Kid are in a 2-2 tie, with the Smoke Wagon Kid winning his final shot with a 484. Alabama ends up in 6th place. It's number 2 seed, Green River's turn to take on 6 Killer. Both shooters know how fast each other are. They drag race for fast times. Green River is not connecting today, and 6 Killer wins again with a 348, 353, and a 371. While in the 1X bracket, Johnny James stays alive with a final shot of a 459, and the Smoke Wagon Kid finishes in 5th place. Saltwater Cowboy is anxious to come to the line. He knows he has the speed and consistency to compete. Will this be his day? He chooses lane 4, as it is the higher seed's honor to do, moving 6 Killer to lane 3. But 6 Killer is on a hitting streak as they both are shooting in the mid-3s. 6 Killer is ahead, 2-1. They're barely edging each other out in their shots. and wins the last shot with a blazing 357. Six Killer gets to enjoy the Catbird seat, sending Saltwater Cowboy to the semifinal round. Meanwhile, over on lanes 5 and 6, Johnny James out-hits Green River with the final shot of a 444, sending Green River to 4th place overall. It's the semifinals, with first seed Saltwater Cowboy picking lane 6 to take on Johnny James on lane 5. Saltwater Cowboy is no doubt the faster shooter, but misses the first shot, leaving in an opening. Johnny James earns a 1-0 lead with a 446. But Saltwater Cowboy finds the target and hits the next 3 shots in a row in the threes, earning his spot in the championship final rounds. Hats off to Johnny James. It's no small accomplishment to take 3rd overall in both the Oklahoma and Georgia State Championships 2 weeks in a row. So now we're down to it. Six Killer has only to win one more round. Can Saltwater Cowboy push it to a final round? Don't forget, Six Killer has worked his way all the way up from the 7th seed to the final rounds. What a close match. Saltwater Cowboy takes a 1-0 lead with a 366, but Six Killer catches and passes him with a 362 and a 378 to make it 2-1. But Saltwater Cowboy ties it with a 371. These guys are neck and neck. Here comes the commands.
Shooters on the line. Shooters, set.
Six Killer wins with a final shot of a 343. What an exciting finish. Congratulations to Saltwater Cowboy. The Cowboy Fast Draw Association would like to thank the Hickory Flats Shooter Society Cowboy Fast Draw Club for a great Georgia State Championship. Join us on the next episode of the Gunslingers Trail as the CFDA Top Gun Tour takes us to the Oregon State Championship. This is the first CFDA title championship held in the Western U.S. There you'll meet a whole new group of gunslingers, including the current 7-time world men's champion, Oregon Ranger, and the current ladies national champion and Top Gun from last year, Lefty Lipscomb. Anyway, things are heating up. As always, hit 'em fast.